Hey there YouTube, it's Ski2000. I thought I'd just go ahead and do a little shooting video today because I have some new slingshots that I want to try out and kind of give you my impressions on. So what I've got, I have my old trusty Scout LT. I love that one. I sold the original one with the different colors. This is the limited edition version. GZK GShot. And the ones we're going to shoot today are going to be the GZK GShot through the fork, the brand spanking new Fowler Simpleshot Sparrow, and also the Wasp Uniphoxx G10 Target Master. So we're going to be shooting these little clay ammo pellets. And the target I'm going for, it's a little less than 10 meters out. It's just the small steel plate out there. So that way you'll get a pretty good idea of when I actually make contact with the target and everything. So just to kind of review, I've always been a big fan of the Simpleshot Scout LT. I think it's one of the more versatile slingshots out there. You know, you can change your grip style, you can change everything up about it. I'm not going to go into, I've already done a pretty detailed review on the Scout LT. So I'm just going to grab a few of these pellets, throw them in my pocket. Last one of them. And then we'll just take a couple shots. Like I said, super versatile. You can choose your grip style and you can choose your you know, how you want to attach the bands. I like the flip clips and you can kind of customize it and everything. Great overall slingshot. The GZK GShot. This one, turned out to be my favorite for a while. The only downside is that it was only over the top. A few things I do like about it is that it's nice and compact, and it's really dense, it's heavy. There's some actual weight to it. I did kind of modify the target reticles a little bit. I do like the little fiber optic target reticles. I think that helps out a little bit. But one thing I have kind of noticed with it is I get a lot more hand slap, and I think I mentioned this in my previous review video. So normally when I shoot, I usually try to hold the pouch like this, with my thumb kind of holding on the piece of ammo. But I've noticed with this one, I have to do almost a 90-degree turn when I put it up to my face. And when I shoot it, that helps out with the hand slap a little bit. But believe it or not, I'm actually kind of turning away from the GShot a little bit because a while ago, a couple months ago, I picked up this GZK GShot through the fork, TTF, and I really like this slingshot. I've gotten to the point where this used to kind of be my go-to slingshot for a while. It's super lightweight. I think it's made out of titanium, so it's way lighter than the GZK, the GZK GShot, and it just, I don't know, everything about it is really, really great. It's easy to attach the bands. I don't get the hand slap with it that I do with the GZK. And it's just fun to carry around. It's super pocketable. And everything about it I just love. I did try at one point to see if I could put a lanyard on it, but I just decided against it over time. It was too difficult to take off the scales and everything. So real impressive slingshot. It was pretty expensive. I mean, I think it came in around, I think $70, and you can get it on the GZK store. At least you could get it on the GZK store. I don't know if it's actually still there and available. But I've really started to come around to this slingshot quite a bit. And the one thing that has really changed my opinion on slingshots with this particular one is that I realized that when I was holding the GZK, after shooting the GShot through the fork for a while, every time I grab this, it makes my hands feel like I'm grabbing something super, super tiny, because this one has a nice spread on it. You can kind of see the comparison between the spread. And I feel that the GShot really, I don't know, fills out my hand a lot better than previously. So I've started to, again, kind of come around to this being one of my top favorite slingshots for accuracy, just again because it feels so much better in my hand. So I love this slingshot, and if you're ever considering one, I think this is a great option. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more sturdy, again, that titanium's really nice on it, and easy band attachments. so on and so forth. Now let's get to the new kids on the block, and by new I mean within the past week. So this just came out on the market the other day. So this is that Simpleshot Sparrow. It's modeled after Zachary Fowler's original Sparrow that he took with him on a loan, I think. And Zachary Fowler has been a real big inspiration to me. He's a fun guy. He likes to have fun. He likes slingshots. He just goes out and tries to enjoy life as he has it. And so when I saw that this came out, I was a little bummed because originally he did release the Hornet, I think it was, which was kind of based off of one that he made out of a ski. But those sold out, relatively quickly. And so now, when this came out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it. It's not very expensive. It's 20 bucks. They send you 2 band attachments and whatever else. I mean, it's just much more of kind of a traditional style slingshot. You can see I'm not as accurate with it because I just got it a couple of days ago. And this is, again, a really good sort of beginning opportunity for a slingshot. And this is only over the top. Again, it's modeled after the same one that he originally has with him. And there we go. Some of the things that I was kind of bummed out about at first is that there's no band attachment system. Again, I'm lazy when it comes to attaching my bands, so trying the whole wrap and tuck method was relatively new to me. I've done it in a couple of natural forks that I've had before, but it wasn't something that I sought out as kind of a slingshot design. However, when Simpleshot sent it to me, they sent some of their wrap and tuck material. And I found it's actually pretty easy. I mean, it took me a few times to really get it down and be able to actually pull the wrap through. But eventually I figured it out. And again, it's a fun slingshot to have. It's definitely a lot more on the traditional line of things. But yeah, I would highly, highly recommend it for anybody who's interested in it. It's pretty lightweight. There's not a lot of stuff to it. It's just basically the thermo molded plastic or whatever. It does have the nice little Fowler insignia on there, or signature. So it's fun to kind of plink around with. I don't know if I would use it as, maybe a hunting slingshot. I'm sure you could get super accurate with it, but just for me, because I don't know, it's a little bit harder, I guess, for me to figure out the whole aiming of this type of a slingshot. And the other thing that it kind of requires too, and I saw a couple of posts on this when somebody got their version of the Sparrow, they said it was a lot more difficult and they didn't like it as much because the grip was weird for them. And I asked the individuals, I think it was on Reddit, if they're still trying to do a pinch grip, much like you would do with some of the other slingshots that I have. And he said yes, and I said, well, this slingshot is really designed for that kind of thumb supported grip. So you almost kind of choke up on the neck of it, put your thumb right at the base here, and that actually gives you a little bit more of a stable type of a shot. And you can also kind of use your finger or your knuckle as sort of an aiming reference there. And so that takes a little bit of getting used to. I started to get used to it in my previous video when I had the kind of the base model Wasp Uniphoxx. So I've kind of become more accustomed to it. I do like that it keeps your wrist in kind of a neutral position. So, if I were doing a pinch grip or hammer grip or something like that, my wrist is really kind of cocked up. If you're doing a thumb supported grip, your wrist is in a much more neutral plane, making it a little bit more comfortable to shoot and a little bit more accurate, I think, in that regard. But still, stupid fun slingshot. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this because it was so cheap. Sometimes when I'm hard up for cash or something like that, I'll start a big sell-off of my slingshots and knives and whatever else. But this one is so cheap that, it's just going to be in my slingshot bag for a long time. And I really like it. So also consider that as a cool kind of entry-level slingshot. Now, my new favorite. And yes, I said that my favorite for the longest time was the Scout LT. My new favorite is hands down the Wasp Uniphoxx G10 Target Master. So I had a previous Uniphoxx that I shot in my last shooting video. That was just the standard plastic one. That's still a really nice slingshot. It's really lightweight, it's really thin. That's what I love about the Uniphoxx, easy to just slip into a pocket and completely forget about. But this one has upgraded materials, so it's solid G10. I don't know if you can actually see it. It has kind of some layers going on. Has the black Wasp logo. It doesn't have the band attachment systems, and that was kind of a bummer that I thought when I first got it. I was like, oh man, I really like those clips. Makes it really easy for getting bands on. So this one is only over the top, and you do have to use the wrap and tuck. But again, if you spend a little time with the wrap and tuck and spend a little bit of time with the over the top, things just work out beautifully with it. I mean, it's just such a fun slingshot, and I love how you can put your pinky through the hole, and then again use that thumb supported grip, and it's just a super accurate slingshot. And I know they say 1,000 times that it's not the slingshot, it's the shooter that determines accuracy, and I'm sure that's true to a degree. But I think to some extent, having a slingshot that just fits you well and just, you know, is comfortable in your hand, easy to shoot, I think that greatly improves accuracy overall. So this slingshot is a hands-down winner. I will say, much like the previous Uniphoxx, it's a little bit more expensive because I don't think there's any US distributors for Wasp. So I did have to order it from the Wasp website, which they come out of England. So that was a bummer. I think the slingshot itself was like 70 pounds sterling. And then with the shipping, it was like an additional 16 pounds sterling. So it ended up being like $114 slingshot when it all was converted and everything. But hands down, it's worth it. I mean, you see I've just hit every single time on the plate. It's a beautiful slingshot. This one I will never get rid of, even though I don't really care for wrap and tuck as much. It's just great, lightweight. Nothing about this slingshot is bad. And so I highly, highly recommend it if you have the funds to go for a high-end slingshot. Wasp makes some really great slingshots. They do have other versions. I think like the Wolf or something like that. So the Uniphoxx is kind of their industry standard model. But then they have like the Wolf or something where it actually has the pinch, so you can do the pinch grip. But this one is just great. So wonderful slingshot. I like them all. And if I were to recommend one, and this, sorry for the truck going by. If I were to recommend one for, again, a kind of a beginner or somebody who's trying to get into slingshots, it would probably be the Scout LT. Just for versatility's sake, everything is pretty versatile. I think the only thing that it really can't do is it's not really ideal for a hammer grip, for somebody who likes to shoot hammer grip. But otherwise, it fits all the bills there. If you're looking for a little bit more of an advanced slingshot, I would highly go with the Wasp Uniphoxx G10 Target Master. And it just looks really cool. There's a lot of cool color options. I like that they have kind of the pattern on the back. Just a great slingshot overall. So hope all's well, and keep on shooting.